Welcome to All Things Chiropractic.
Welcome to another episode of All Things Chiropractic. I'm Paul Andrews.
And I am Dr. Mark Davini. Welcome all.
Well, we are in the midst of the holiday season.
Jingle bells. Jingle bells.
Yeah. I mean, that's already playing. You know, I've have that, that satellite radio, and they've already moved the stations into
It's been playing
Christmas
before
holiday.
Halloween.
It is. All right. Are you are you a person who does or doesn't like when Christmas stuff happens before Thanksgiving and now before Halloween? Or you're like, I'm okay with it. I love Christmas.
No, Friday after Thanksgiving is when everything Christmas starts. Before Thanksgiving, before Halloween, before my birthday in September. No,
I know.
Too much.
My neighbor put up his Christmas stuff before Thanksgiving, so I was giving him a hard time. He's like, well, my wife wanted it up. She loves Christmas. I go, well, what about Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Never mind Halloween. You know, that the peanut special for the great pumpkin or whatever, and the peanuts have a Thanksgiving special too, but they all get overshadowed.
I'm insulted. I live in Plymouth. That's the first Thanksgiving. They just bypass us altogether, right?
So we all know that Christmas Eve is next week, but we are in the midst of Hanukkah, day 3, I believe, of Hanukkah itself, the Festival of Lights. And we were thinking about, during this holiday season, there's a lot of fun, joy, but also, with patience comes stress, travel, their routines are off, things like that. And so we thought we would focus in on practice and the patient during the holiday season, have a little chat, some stories maybe.
How do you deal with it? How do you deal with your patients? And how do you deal with the holiday season? Do you even address the holiday season? It was amazing to me when I do my monthly calls how few chiropractors even knew about Chiropractic Founders Day and didn't mention it or make any kind of mention in their office. All of these holidays, especially the big ones like Christmas and Hanukkah and the others, give you this opportunity to embrace your patients and have a little fun in the practice. And that sounds and appears so stuffy and boring.
Okay, but let's start with like the basics that can also be in this season in America can possibly be inflammatory, which is, how do you greet patients during the holiday season? Is it Happy Holidays? Is it Merry Christmas? Is it Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah? Is it Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what people do and don't think, celebrate and don't celebrate for the most part. So do you just greet what you celebrate? I remember a patient once, this was years and years ago, before a lot of the political correctness, because I'm that old. We would say Merry Christmas, and he said Happy Hanukkah, realizing, okay, the guy was Jewish, so it wasn't in a sort of an aggressive way. It was just like, hey, you said how you celebrated, I'm gonna greet how I celebrate it.
Right.
Totally great. No problem there.
And there is no real answer, because certainly the demographic of your practice would make a big difference. But personally, I just say Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. And then if it's past Christmas, Happy Holidays and Happy New Year. Or if we are in the middle of Hanukkah or whatever, Happy Holidays and Happy Hanukkah. So I try and individualize it, but still cover the bases, because there's about 1,001 different holidays that take place this time of year.
Well, so I asked our wonderful friend AI about what celebrations happen in December around the world, because I was interested to see, what's out there.
So you ask Alfred. That's what I asked
Alfred. Yeah. I haven't named my. I don't really use it that much, but I don't want to feed the beast, so to speak.
Yeah,
but
there's no Siri. It's Alfred. Ask Alfred.
Yeah. So the sort of the big ones were Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day for our neighbors in the north in Canada. Tradition of giving to the less fortunate is what it says. You know what? Do you know what AI put on here, which was hilarious? Was Festivus from that Seinfeld episode.
Yeah. And there are people that don't even know Seinfeld, right? And here we have Alfred telling us about
I didn't.
Festivus.
I guess I didn't realize or remember that. According to Alfred, or as you want to call it, December 23rd was Festivus. I thought it was actually the replacement for Christmas, but it's 2 days before. Mr. Costanza celebrated.
Say, he'd be screaming and yelling. We'd hear him. Him from here.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. So I'm going to go on a little side tangent. If we had the aluminum pole and you were airing grievances around the table, here we are, Dr. Davini. Right. Hit me with it. What do you got for grievances? Dare you say it?
Yeah, I think you've already said it. I don't know how to address people anymore.
No, it's grievances about me. We're supposed to go around the table.
All right. See, I'm not.
We should just rewatch the episode. I
got to rewatch the episode now and then.
Come on, what do you? I know you. I know you have grievances.
No. This is the Christmas season. I'm not doing.
No, this is Festivus or pre-Festivus. Then we're supposed to wrestle or something like that.
All right. Yeah. We definitely, for those of you who've never seen it or remember it, obviously, as I don't, watch Festivus.
Yeah. If you've never watched Seinfeld, then you really don't get it, and you're probably already tuned out. Sorry about that.
Yeah. But back to patients.
Right.
And holidays in particular. Because you're right, it is a particularly difficult time of year for everybody, and you need to be somebody who contributes to the plus and not the minus of all that. That there is a good side of all these holidays, and you need to play that up in your office. Like, do you even address it? Do you decorate? Do you do something special? Do you have some kind of way of embracing the holiday or holidays with your patients?
And honestly, for a lot of practices, I know, however they celebrate, a lot of them include some sort of benevolence in their office where they, do fundraisers or Toys for Tots, or it's great. I mean, it's a wonderful. Right.
Well, I wanted to ask. What I mean, make sure you make it aware that you're aware.
Yeah. All right. So, because you had been in practice for a long time, did you find an uptick in what I'm going to call emotional adjustments during the holidays?
Oh, if we go way back to our subluxation podcast, it's obvious that you can subluxate from the outside in, you slip, fall, you do this, but definitely from the inside out. And probably most people truly subluxate from the inside out. So even though they're not out there shoveling snow or slipping and falling or whatever it is that might happen in the winter times, they're probably more subluxated during the holiday season than ever before.
So, if you're a newer doc and maybe you didn't get a lot of education in school about handling the emotional subluxation / emotional adjustment, any advice for that newer doc as those patients come in and you can clearly tell that there's some mental anguish perhaps going on for the holidays? Or
well, it's a perfect opportunity to link the chiropractic adjustment to the nervous system and effects that most patients may not relate to directly as being a chiropractic problem. So they come in here and they think, I'm stressed, or this or that, and they're busy running around, not getting enough sleep, maybe not even eating as well as they should. And then you come in and you say, you're a lot worse today than I normally see you. You want to know something? I commonly see that this time of year because subluxations can come from the outside in or the inside out. And this is obviously an inside-out subluxation. And now you get to bring in this whole concept that it's not a mechanical entity, it's a neurological entity.
So patient education opportunities, really what you're saying.
Huge.
Making it about them, of course, because it is.
Right.
That makes sense. What about, because it really starts probably with Halloween, and it definitely sort of reaches one of the two peaks in Thanksgiving is how people eat, right? But the correlation perhaps with them feeling less than optimal as they eat all this garbage, including myself. I don't know if you stuffed yourself at Thanksgiving. I did.
Oh, yeah.
and then the day after and the day after until you're so sick of it.
Etc.
Right. But, do you find patients even correlate things like their consumption with their declining, health or their increased symptoms?
Well, no, because I think patients, like most of society in general, not just our patients, but they tend to isolate out what's going on. Whatever is not good about them is something that happened in the last 24 hours. So they don't make connections between, say, bad habits or between something that happened a couple weeks ago or something that might be cumulative, like stress. They don't make those relationships. And this is that opportunity to bring it out and say, well, again, schedules change, life changes, you eat differently, you're not getting your exercise like you should. Certainly the stress is there. All of these reasons to make the connection between imbalance in the body in one form or another, and how that affects the nervous system, which creates subluxation, which means that's why you're here. Because they might not come in with their back pain, but they might come in, like you said, just not feeling good. And they're wondering, when you're trying to say, oh, well, good, I'll give you an adjustment, you'll feel better. And they walk out in their head going, he's wacko. What's that have to do with any of this? Unless you use the opportunity to educate them.
Well, what about the fact that during this holiday season, there's less compliance because they're so busy doing everything else?
Oh, absolutely. And of course, financial choices, because now they're putting out more than they put out during the regular season. And it comes out to be this opportunity of, people say, doctors will say to me, oh, well, it's the holiday season, I'm a little slower. And my mind goes to, it's the holiday season, you should be busier. Which means if these patients understand how much you can do for them, if nothing else, to just get through the holidays,
right?
Then they're not going to miss their appointments, and they might even add an appointment in there by saying, I have so much going on, I just need a little help here. So don't look at it as don't look at it like they're so busy and they're doing this and we're all doing that you accept being slower during Christmas time. You should be busier.
I suppose, there could be this opportunity, if it is a slower time, to focus in on concluding the year, maybe getting those patients that do come in, those progress exams or updated x-rays. I mean, there's probably opportunities for enhanced care / revenue.
Oh, I always tell people that the best way to manage this time of year into the beginning of next year, think about it, that patients starting the first will have their, reset their deductibles. They may even be changing their plans. Everything becomes different, and it usually means more out-of-pocket expense to them. So in November and December, you should be orienting your regular patients to say, okay, it's been a year, 2 years, whatever. Since we've done an exam, we need to do an exam, and schedule those exams in January. Schedule those x-rays that they might need re-x-ray in January. And that works in so many positive ways. One of them is you get to have your schedule full because, again, January might be one of those times there, if you don't work at it, might be slower. Number two, it gives the patients an opportunity to become, or gives you an opportunity to reorient that patient to ongoing care. Because you do an exam, you might update some of the x-ray or all the x-rays, and you get a chance to show them how much better they are and how much, chiropractic has helped them over the years. And then one of the last things is it helps them eat up their deductible. Because they're one way or another, they have to use their deductible to get into their benefit. So there's nothing but pluses, but that has to start now. That has to start in November and December, and you just have January be your update time for your regular patients, because regular patients do need periodic exams and maybe periodic x-rays. They started treating with you when you were 20, when they were 20, I mean, and all of a sudden they're 45 years old and you've never done a new exam and you've never updated x-rays. Come on, and because of that, there's never been that refocus of the patient and the need for regular care, which we just mentioned about the inside and the outside, and what was the old school audio, above, down, inside, and out. That's really what it's all about.
So I have two other questions for you. One is, what did you do with all the wonderful baked goods that your patients would bring that just consumed the office over that week or two?
The good thing about that was, back in the day, we'd have a big Christmas, so we always had a need for that. Okay. As time went on, not so much. And so you bring them to wherever you might go, or eat as much of it as you can.
Right.
Hopefully it's good.
Freeze it and or discard it.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully it's good. Not everybody's great baker.
Well, that plus, I hadn't really thought about it until my wife, when she was going back to OT school and getting her master's, she did rotations in different settings, and one of them was home. And she said, after doing that for whatever the semester or a variation of that, she goes, I don't think I'm ever going to eat something that comes out of somebody else's house unless I see what their house looks like first.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I was trying to be kind, but yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
You cannot judge a book by its cover sometimes.
No.
So.
And in this day and age, too, being handed something that isn't packaged up tight and sealed up tight or whatever, it is suspect. Unfortunately, it's a crazy world. But
well, we've got a lot of adventurous listeners. I bet they'll just go in whole hog and just say,
Yeah, we are from the East Coast too, so there's a little bit of cynicism going on here.
The old cliche: if you're born to be shot, you'll never be hanged, right?
Ooh. But again, back to patients.
All right, so back to patients. The question is, what did you do with those patients? Maybe you didn't have a lot of them that would walk in. They're like bah humbug Scrooges, like they're just grumpy people.
Yeah. Well, one of the golden rules with communication is always try and meet a patient at their level and then go one step higher. So if you have a bar humbug type of person and they come walking in your office and you're all like, hey, it's Christmas, happy Christmas, we love you, you're going to turn them off. So you might tone yourself down to their level and then come up a notch or two. And it usually works. So that will take the bah humbug person and elevate them. And then certainly, other people who come in who are excited, you want to meet their excitement too, and maybe go one notch higher. So always know your patients is really what it comes down to. Know who they are. You don't want to be the person they don't want you to be. And so always know them, meet them, and go maybe one or two notches higher.
That Parker be an oasis, right? Mm-hmm. Be that oasis in the office.
Yeah. One of the things we used to do, again, was saying know your patients. And I was saying to you, Christmases, we used to have like a little basket of little wrapped things. And they were trivial things. They were nothing significant, but just something to be within the spirit. It was all decorations and all that stuff going on. But Jehovah's Witnesses, we were told, could not receive anything wrapped in gift wrapping, but they could receive a gift if it was wrapped in aluminum foil or something plain, like plain paper or whatever. So we had a fairly large number of Jehovah's Witnesses in our practice, and we always made sure that there was a certain number of what we were giving out wrapped in either aluminum foil or plain wrapping, so that when they showed up, we had something to give them. They were so appreciative of that simple little thought.
Right.
It wasn't even the gesture, because it doesn't even take anything to do that. But they were touched by the fact that we remembered what it was that was important to them. And they were all very kind. They never said anything. They just wouldn't take a gift.
Right.
Until we noticed one time that they weren't doing that. And then finally you'd ask them and they go, well, in our belief, blah, blah, blah. And that's great. So know your patients so that they're not all you. And they all don't like what you like, or they don't all accept what you accept. So knowing your practice helps.
That makes sense. So we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it short today. Next week, we're going to have another Christmas special as we head into, we're going to have a Christmas special because we're heading into Christmas next week. And that'll be fun. And then we have our year end, which is always fun too.
Excellent.
But hey, we hope your holiday season is going very well. We really appreciate and are grateful that you are listening to our wonderful podcast. We certainly have a lot of fun doing it.
That's right.
And I'll leave you with this Jewish proverb because we're in the middle of Hanukkah. A little bit of light pushes away a lot of darkness. Didn't Parker have something about what a candle?
Yeah, lighting I can't remember the exact quote, but it was basically lighting another candle doesn't take anything away from the candle.
From the original candle. Yeah, something like that. Boy, we really did that one justice, didn't we?
Let's go back to read the other one more time.
Right. That was awful. Anyway, on that note, thanks again for listening to All Things Chiropractic. I'm Paul Andrews.
And I'm Dr. Mark Davini. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Thanks for listening to All Things Chiropractic. We'd love to hear from you. Visit allthingschiropractic.com with comments, episode ideas, or questions. Or connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at All Things Chiropractic Podcast. Be sure to join Dr. Mark Davini and Paul Andrews next time for another episode of All Things Chiropractic.